Hey lovelies, it's Anne coming to you live. It's Monday morning, it's the 2nd of June in Melbourne, in Australia. You may be still enjoying your weekend, and if you are, that is awesome. I am starting a new month and a new week and a new day, and it's a beautiful day in Melbourne. So I wanted to hop on here and talk about what to do in business after you're experiencing some sort of a plateau or a dip even in income. Have you ever been doing well in your business, getting clients, growing, and then suddenly everything just shifts, right? It changes, it stalls maybe. Your income plateaus, or maybe even dips, like I said. And, when this happens, we're left wondering, what the heck happened? Is it the algorithm? Is it me? Is it something else? Is this kind of a lot of people are talking about, like this post-COVID plateau, right? And if you are nodding, keep listening because I'm talking to you, right? And I've experienced this too myself. You're someone who's already had success, right? So I'm not talking to the brand new business owner who's starting out. And, these kinds of things are quite common in the early days. But this also happens to businesses who are incredibly successful, right? Who have had a lot of success, and you're good at what you do. You've helped so many people. You've made money, right? You've seen that it works. You're whatever you do, it works. But then lately, it's like all the momentum disappeared, right? Maybe you've been showing up consistently, but it's just not working like it used to, right? Posting on social media, sending emails, yet nothing is kind of converting like it used to. Maybe you poured your heart into a launch, right? And heard crickets. Your offer is good. Your clients get incredible results when they actually work with you. You aren't some new kid on the block, right? Like I said. And on paper, you're doing all the right things, and still the sales just aren't coming through. And it's so freaking frustrating. It's confusing. It is so lonely, right, in business, because it's like hard to even know what's happening. It's so demoralizing. And I get it. I get it. Recently, I've seen so many brilliant women hit this exact wall in their business. Yeah. And from the outside, people might even think, you've got it all together. Because, no one even knows what's really going on behind the scenes. But inside, you're secretly worrying, what the fuck? Is it me? Did I lose my touch? And there are some deeper reasons why this might be happening, right? Things nobody really talks about in those, the shiny Instagram posts where everything is perfect. And maybe you're kind of over it. You're emotionally exhausted as well from just all the trying. You've been pushing and pushing in your business for years, and it can get tiring even when you're following your purpose and doing what completely lights you up, right? And this kind of fatigue, tiredness, makes it really hard to show up with the same passion and energy that you once had, right? And doubt creeps in. This is the thing. And this little voice in your head, your monkey mind, right? Maybe that earlier success was a fluke. Maybe it was, hey, Rosalind, good to see you. Maybe, I'm not cut out for this next level, this kind of, because let's face it, right? I think a lot of us experienced a lot of success around that post-COVID time, because, we had a very captive audience. Everyone was at home. Everyone was kind of online and, and looking for support and help and that kind of thing. And things have changed. Things have just changed. And even though logically you are capable, emotionally you start questioning yourself. Oh, thank you, gorgeous woman. Thank you. I think this is an important topic. And from the outside, no one knows that we're experiencing the shit that we're experiencing, right, behind the scenes. And anyway. And, and we try and compensate for all of this, right, by potentially hustling more, more strategies, more tactics, maybe, tweaking the old website. Maybe one more tweak of the website is what we need, right? And, and I've been sharing about this from so many different perspectives. I've been sharing about, energetics alone isn't enough, yeah? It's not enough to just be fully embodied in your feminine. You do need the strategy. And equally, strategy alone isn't enough, right? You can't just be doing the tactics and following the strategies. All the strategies in the world won't save you if you're not truly embodying it, yeah? If your heart's not in it, if your energy and belief aren't behind it, people can tell. People can tell. Yeah, look, it is great to pull back the curtain because, we all have an agenda. I have my own agenda too, full transparency, and I'll be talking more about what my agenda is, right? But everyone, depending on what it is that they're teaching and what it is that they're selling, they're going to put their slant on it, right? And I'm here to say that you need it all. You need a little bit of it all, right? Over strategizing without embodiment is not the recipe for success either, yeah? When you're so in your head about the next tip or the next technique that you lose touch with your own magic, your own voice, that becomes a problem too, right? And it's lonely, right? This entrepreneurial space is lonely because all we see is what people share on social media, and people only often share the big successes and everything that's working really, really well, right? And quite honestly, that lack of support can really kind of leave us spinning our wheels, right? With the same problem for months and months. And there's no one to even brainstorm with. Like, we meet some incredible people, like I've met Rosalind, for example, in the online space, but it still takes time to really build that connection and to kind of figure out, okay, is this, can I ask her this question? Is it a strange question to even ask? And, can she help me with this or whatever it might be? And then we start second guessing all the things, right? It gets so lonely. It's like being in solitary confinement, or what I imagine solitary confinement to be, right? Because you are in your own fucking head, yeah? And that leads to overthinking and, and finding yourself obsessing over the wording for a post because, it's the wording, the exact wording that I have to get perfectly right in order for me to be a success. Hey, Edie, good to see you. And then we kind of obsess over the sales page and tweaking the sales page, and instead of actually promoting our offers and what we're really here to do. Yeah. And that's exactly what happens when doubt creeps in, isolation sets in, overthinking, second guessing, analysis paralysis, all the things. And ladies, I am talking from experience, right? This is not like I'm the perfect model of a coach or mentor who's not been through any of these stages that I'm describing. I know them so well because I have been there, I've done it. I've bought the t-shirt too, and I've also invested in the support, because there's nothing more paralyzing than being in your own head, right? And when we're in that state, let's face facts, we start avoiding the stuff that we know we need to do, right? And you stop making offers. This is the thing, because you're tired of the rejection. You're tired of feeling like what you're putting out there doesn't actually work. And so instead of actually leaning in more and making more offers and actually selling and seeing selling as being service, we become more kind of fear of rejection, and, we withdraw and avoid doing the things that we should be doing, right? Burying ourselves in the busy work, tweaking the website, like I said, just refining that sales page just one more time to avoid the risk of another failure, of asking for the sale and then not receiving it potentially, right? Does any of this sound familiar? And if you're feeling called out, whether you're here with me live or whether you're watching this on replay, this is way more common than you think, right? It doesn't mean that you are doomed. It doesn't mean that, you've lost your mojo. It doesn't mean anything other than you are human, just like me, right? And when what used to work isn't working anymore, it's just kind of like a sign that you need to, maybe you need a new approach. Maybe you need fresh eyes, not your eyes, but someone else's eyes on your business. Because doing more of the same thing isn't going to break through this plateau or dip that you're experiencing either, right? So in my experience, breaking through this kind of stuckness, and I hate that word, right? Because it just feels so disempowering. But it does require a combination, right, of strategy, mindset, and energetics. All three is required, right? Analysis paralysis. Eddie, you are not alone, right? You are not alone. Thank you for sharing that, though, because I know it takes courage, right, for us to even ask for help, especially as women. We figure we need to figure all of these things out for ourselves. Look, I've even invested in coaches and mentors sometimes and still not asked for help because I feel like, that's a sign of weakness and I need to figure these things out. But I've learned to surrender. I've learned to, ask for help and receive as well. Yeah. Think of your business like a three-legged stool. I was thinking of an analogy before I came on here. One leg is strategy, the practical how-tos, the launch plans, the marketing tactics, right? They're all really important. The other leg is mindset, right? Your beliefs, your confidence, the way you handle fear and doubt, not going into hiding, yeah? And the third leg, we're talking about a stool here, in case you've forgotten. The third leg is energetics, your alignment, right? your energy, the vibe you bring into your business, and how you manage things like stress and burnout. Now, even if one of those legs is wobbly or missing, guess what's going to happen? The stool's going to tip over, right? And I suspect up until now, you might have been leaning on one or two of those legs, but not all three. Yeah. Maybe you doubled down on the strategy, took all the courses, downloaded all the checklists, and you've got it all figured out. Yeah. But you've neglected that inner work, the mindset piece, your monkey mind, right? That's still whispering in your ear the whole time you were implementing the strategy that you learned. Or maybe you're big on the mindset work, you're doing all the journaling, you're doing all the affirmations, and you're working on yourself constantly, but you don't actually have a solid strategy in place, to actually generate sales. So you're basically manifesting in this vacuum. And energetics, this one's a bit more subtle, but it is so important. It's how you show up. It's the vibe. It's the energy behind your actions. Yeah. You can do all the right strategy steps, but if you're doing them from a place of this sort of frantic, desperate energy and totally exhausted energy, people feel that. People can absolutely feel that. So you really need all three, right? You need all three. You do need a rock solid strategy. And you do need a resilient and positive mindset. And an energy that really aligns with success. And what that means is feeling good, and not drained and anxious. Loving what you do, feeling excited about what you do. When you have all three of those working together, it's like rocket fuel. It is like rocket fuel for your business. And suddenly things start clicking all over again. The launch that would have flopped before, suddenly people are signing up for it. And you're like, oh, how did that happen? That's the question you ask it. Oh, I wonder how did that happen? Those posts that used to, get tumbleweeds now have people sliding straight into your DMs asking you for the link. Because you are different. You are showing up differently, clearly, with confidence, in alignment, and you have a plan that actually works. Right? And you may be thinking, all right, this all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually do that? Yeah. And, well, this is where incredible women like me come in, right? Like I said at the very start, everyone has their agenda, and so do I. I am here to serve. I want to help. I want to help women just like you. I have something for you that I am so incredibly excited about, which prompted me on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. to get on a Facebook Live on my personal profile, right? And this isn't something new, quite honestly. This isn't something new, but I still get just as excited about talking about it and supporting my clients with it as I did when I first created it. Yeah. Absolutely, Rosalind. Asking for help is a superpower, and it took me really some time to be able to do that. Yeah. And it's all part of the receiving, right? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Same here. I am where I am because of the incredible support team that I have had around me every step of the way. Yeah. So what I am offering, gorgeous ladies, is called the 30K in 30 Days Launch Intensive. It is the 2nd of June here in Melbourne, Australia. It could be the 1st of June where you are. We're doing this in June, right? This is not like we'll get to it one day. We are getting stuck straight in. No more overthinking, no more second guessing, right? It is literally designed for the woman I'm talking to right now in this Facebook Live. You, the experienced person, right? You are ready to get off that plateau or that income dip and really start climbing again. This is a 30-day container where we dive deep and get you launched or relaunched, yeah, with your high ticket offers, yeah, and and let's bring in the energy, let's bring in the mindset, and let's bring in the strategy. We integrate all three throughout, yeah, because all three are necessary. So let me share what those 30 days kind of vaguely looks like. First off, you're not doing this alone. You'll get instant access to day-by-day, step-by-step trainings. That's the strategy piece, right? Plus, you'll have daily support from me via Telegram. Think of it like having a coach in your pocket, literally, right? Every day you can check in, ask questions, celebrate wins, cry if you need to, brainstorm ideas, whatever comes up. But we are all focused on this one thing, right? Which is launching, relaunching, selling your offers. That is the ultimate goal. And along the way, things pop up and we just handle those things, right? I'm there with you in real time, walking with you through the ups and downs of your launch. If something isn't working, we'll tweak it right then and there. If you're freaking out mid-launch, you can send me a message and I'll be right there to talk you off the ledge or to give you a pep talk, right? We'll cover the strategy in detail. Everything from refining your offer, your pricing, creating your launch timeline, the content, all the things, right? Nailing your messaging so that people who need your offer actually hear the value. We'll also dive into mindset because, all the best strategies mean nothing if you are crippled with fear or doubt and not showing up. All right. So we'll work on the inner game, overcoming imposter syndrome, whatever it is, right? Building up your confidence to show up and be seen and really, right? Really kind of embodying that mindset of that multi-6-figure, 7-figure entrepreneur. And the energetics. We'll make sure you don't burn out mid-launch and that you keep your energy high and aligned in certainty, in knowing that the success is yours, that the clients are coming, right? And this means setting up routines to take care of yourself as well during this, practices to keep your vibe positive and magnetic, and learning how to attract clients through your energy. And yes, sounds very woo, And for those of you in the woo space, you know what I mean, right? But powerfully when paired with action. Yeah. And you might be thinking, I've done similar programs, but haven't got all three of it. And that's the thing, right? Exactly. The magic is in the combination and the implementation of it all. Knowledge alone isn't power. It's not going to help. But when you apply the knowledge with the right support, yeah, that's when it's incredibly powerful. So I want to share, before I finish off this Facebook Live, a really quick story with you, because I think it will show you what's really possible when these pieces come together. One of my incredible clients was in a situation that might sound familiar. It's essentially what I've been talking about a lot in this Facebook Live. She had an engaged audience who loved her, right? And they were engaging in her content. They found her inspiring. She had been in business for over 10 plus years. But when she had launched, the month before she started working with me, she got 0 sales, right? 0. She was disappointed, right? And she reached out to me really quite frustrated because she'd been in business for more than 10 years. And she's like, I don't get it. I know I'm good at what I do. Why didn't anyone buy? And it wasn't because she sucked or her offer was bad. It was because, I don't know, there were some pieces missing, right? And it just was misaligned. So she came into my mastermind, and the first thing that we did was I took her through the 30K in 30 days strategy. This is often what most people who come into my world do in their first month, right? We tweaked her strategy, changed up her messaging, so we spoke to a more VIP client, right? We increased her pricing significantly. This is after a month when she had launched and got 0, right? We increased her pricing significantly. And she followed the launch strategy. We worked on her mindset every day throughout it. There were wobbles, right? She learned how to catch those thoughts as they were coming up that told her that she wasn't good enough, that told her she's just had a 0 month. What the hell is she doing increasing her pricing? And really kept realigning and replacing those thoughts with confidence, certainty, and knowing that she was calling in the right people at that new higher price point. And we really focused on her energetics. We started, more self-care practices that she needed, going for walks more, really protecting her energy. And she stepped up, right? This is the thing. It's a co-creation. My clients need to step up too, right? I'm not a magician. I don't just wave magic wands. I don't have that skill, right? But she was more relaxed, more authentic, more magnetic. And the result was, in the very first month we worked together, she made more than $100,000 in sales from that launch. Now, I want to be really transparent. She had a warm audience, like I said. Yeah. She had people who had been following her for years, who trusted her. She had years and years of experience behind her. Yeah. And of course, her results aren't guaranteed for everyone, but that happened, That is what's possible. Yeah. I don't have a magic pill where you join and suddenly make 6 figures overnight. I don't. Yeah. What I'm saying is this. It works when you work it. My clients show up fully, yeah, during those 30 days. This particular client, especially, she really leaned into the support, did the inner work, and executed the strategy that we created. And she proved what was possible. So maybe your goal isn't 100K in a month. Yeah. Maybe you'd be thrilled with 10,000 or 30,000. Yeah. Whatever your next level, whatever your next goal is, imagine what it would feel like to hit it, right? To hit it in 30 days from now. Imagine looking at your sales numbers, your client numbers, and how would it feel to have reached that? The relief, the excitement, the proof that, yes, you are damn fucking good at what you do, right? Imagine having your confidence back, waking up without that kind of feeling of dread or, and just instead feeling excited because you know exactly what to do every day. Actually enjoying a launch process because, it's working is one thing, but launches don't have to be stressful. Yeah. They don't have to leave you exhausted. I used to think the same thing, that every launch meant, 2 weeks of stress and all of that, but not anymore. With the right approach, launching can be fun. As long as it's structured, it can be structured fun. Yeah. When you have a plan and you have someone by your side, it can actually be something that you really, truly enjoy. Yeah. Because you are sharing your offers instead of dreading them and avoiding them and doing the busy work behind the scenes that isn't going to bring the income in. Yeah. And I really want to kind of talk to the audience piece as well, because there's this myth that you need a giant audience to have a successful launch. And that's bullshit. Right? It's not about having 10,000 followers or a huge email list. It's about really connecting deeply with the audience that you do have. Yeah. And we all have people in our audience who are quietly watching, yeah, who want to become clients, but they're waiting to see you and hear you say that one thing that gets them across the line. The client that I mentioned that, resulted in 100K in her first launch in her first month of working with me, she didn't have a huge audience. She'd been in business for a long time, but she didn't have a huge audience. Yeah, but she had an engaged audience. She had a warm audience. And once her messaging shifted and clicked a bit better and, her energy was more on point, they responded. I've seen clients with a couple of 100 followers, yeah, sell out their mastermind, their programs. It comes down to resonance, yeah, not necessarily like audience size or reach. So you don't, stop telling yourself that I can't do that because I don't have a big enough audience, because that's just bullshit. If you have people who listen to you, even a small group, you have enough to start, right? And this isn't just about one launch either. The 30 days we spent together will change how you do business long after it's over. You'll have a rinse and repeat system to use again and again if you wish, right? I did one launch and leveraged it for 12 whole months. Yeah. So that's another option too. Your mindset will permanently level up, right? This is not like what I teach doesn't just last for 30 days. You know, you'll think and show up like a fucking CEO that you truly are. Your energy will be different. People will notice. Yeah. You'll become more resilient, more abundant in the process. So the next time you launch and make an offer, you won't be starting from scratch either. Yeah. You're building on a growing wave of confidence and momentum and all those kinds of things, right? When you continue. I may leave it at that because I could keep going, and I've just realized I've been talking for 35 minutes already. So the 30K in 30 days intensive starts today / tomorrow for those of you who are still on the weekend. I will be supporting you for 30 days. You get the day-by-day, step-by-step trainings, instant access, and then in Telegram, I support you with the strategy, with the mindset, with the energetics, with the highs, the lows, the wobbles in between, in order to, launch, relaunch your offer and really make June a high income month, right? That is the goal. If you feel called, send me a DM, drop 30K in the comments, or send me a DM to ask any questions, or grab the link and let's fucking get started, right? It's June, people, it's June. We can build more momentum now than you have in the previous 5 months. We can do it this month. So let's fucking go. It's been so awesome to be here to talk to you, and let me know if you have any questions at all. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the DMs. Talk soon. Bye.